Maybe I'm gonna call this story time with Mr. Blue. Or Light Blue. Mr. Light Blue, you think that'd be cool? I don't know, it's dumb. So I was trying to figure out, use code names, right? So nobody gets in trouble, nobody knows what's going on, you're talking about people, and shit like that. Because it's like, the other day, I was like, damn, this bitch is fucking rude to me. And I didn't do anything. I walked in there to buy some fucking candy. So I was trying to figure out what I'm gonna call her, right? And I was like, alright. So I was like, well, if she's gonna get a code name, why can't I have one? I didn't be fucking cool to get a code name, right? And, so I was asking people, they're like, you should be Mr. Blue, Mr. Light Blue, because I was like using colors, kind of like, to represent stuff, you know what I'm saying? So colors are cool, right? I can't use, like, names, other names, like, I can't be calling this person, like, Ron, or, I mean, it'd be funny, but it's like if I call them Ron, it would think like it's a real person. It's a, you know, it's a real name. It's like, nah, that might not be cool. People are gonna be like, the fuck? How come it's Ron person? I'm like, nah, it's not really. It's just a code name, right? Nickname. But if I use like, if I call her Meg, they're like, oh fuck, man, now you're talking about a Megan, but it's not really a Megan. It's like, but if you call them Karen, people already assume these all people are Karen, but they're not Karens. That's just what I'm talking about. It's not a Karen. So it's like, oh, that sucks. So you can't do that. So, I was like, alright, I'll use colors, right? Colors are good. Colors can't go wrong, right? Can't go wrong with colors. And I was like, well, this person could be can't be a blue, because I'm blue. Because blue, I think blue's cool. I don't know. People say I'm blue. So I don't know. I can't use white, because they're like, oh, it's talking about white people. I can't be doing that. Can't use black, because it's the same thing. Can't use yellow because they're talking about my people, and I can't doing that. And then it's like, you're talking about like, you know, use brown. Can't use. I'm like, fuck me. Even though she's like dookie, not a nice person, and I'll explain that when I'm telling this. So I was like, okay, so what can I say that would be funny, but then not funny? So if I do with like ice, right? But that would be the color. I could be ice blue. Okay, right? I think that's a color, I believe. Or then I was like, well, we'll use Arctic. And that's a color. I think it's Arctic blue or Arctic white. One of the two. I don't remember what it was. But it's like, alright, cool. So that makes sense because it's a color. And it's a cold place, right? So I was like, oh, double win, because that's what she was doing to me. Like, her heart's cold as ice. It's like all fucked up. Like, there were shards of ice. You try and chip away at it to be nice to them, and they're fucking to work. It's like, dude, you touch it, you be like, you got her hand turns on the ice, like, you're fucked. So I was like, okay, that sucks, right? And it goes into like, you know, like, what happened? And this has been like a long game, and I think it's fucking hilarious. Like, it's funny because I'm not here being mean or nothing. I don't think, okay, I mean, there's two sides of everything. People could think I'm being mean, but I'm not. It's whatever, you can think it, but I'm here to inform you, right? I'm here to help you out, to do your thing, to be like, you know, and, so, when I started, shit, like, it started, at first she was super cool, like, friendly, you know, like, oh, you're being friendly, cool, like, we're co-workers, be friendly, right? Okay, tell me your life story, tell me all this shit, cool, like, you know what, okay, that's cool, and then, you start doing things, you know, you're starting to take advantage of people, you know, like, you think I'm fucking, like, they think I'm fucking dumb, like, they think I'm stupid, I don't see these things, I don't know what you're doing, I don't know that you're stealing time from work, I know you're stealing time, when you don't clock out, when you go on your lunch, when, you know, so you take a 15, you don't clock out for a 15-minute break, okay, cool, quick snack, done, end of story, right? This person's 15 turns into, like, a 30, 45, and And how she plays it is fucking... She thinks she's the smartest person for playing it that way. I'm gonna take my 15. Walks out, take your 15. Right? 15 minutes. 20 minutes. 25 minutes. 30 minutes. She comes back in, walking with the cart. Like one of the store carts. Like she went and got her. She did a cart run to go get carts. Bitch, please. Doesn't take you 15 minutes to walk that damn ass small parking lot to get a fucking cart. Okay, whatever. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I'm not dumb. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it as long as you don't call me out on my bullshit. And I say this because there's a couple times. So I take a 30, right? So Mr. Light Blue takes a 30-minute break. I have to clock out for that. I clock out. Traffic happens. I'm 1, 2, 3 minutes. I think I was 4 minutes late on a couple incidents. Like once. I was 4 minutes late once. Because I had one of the managers, like, she looked at it, she's like, why were you 4? I'm like, 4 minutes late, it's traffic. She got it, she approved it, she said, oh, it's okay. Right? And, well, I had her, they asked me about it. You were 4 minutes late, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, you know, shit happened, it was traffic, my bad, I'll try it. And then with 1, 2 minutes, you know, it's like 1 or 2 minutes, okay. She gets so mad about this that she writes down on a piece of paper and brings it to the store manager. 4 minutes? 3 minutes? 2 minutes? 1 minute? Motherfuck! You're calling me out. And they confront me. That's why I know this, because they confronted me. They're like, da-da-da, this, and this. You know, you have to clock in right on time. You do this. I'm like, I don't give a... Fine, whatever. Like, it was a mistake. It happens. 1, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Like, everybody can't be perfect all the time. Like, dude, chill the fuck out. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, shit. And so they both doubled because they found that out. Like, and I was like, oh, it's funny, because I told them. I was like, when they accused me of this, I was like, all right, that sucks. I'll remember next time. Maybe you could, you know, like, every time I close with this person, that's what they do. You can ask other associates. They've seen it. They've seen her walk up to the machine, pretend to clock out, do the thing like you're clocking out for break because you're taking 30. No. Come back in. Don't even clock back in and work like it was perfectly normal. And you're pretending. Like, I know how you pretend. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got cameras up there. And you doing that shit. Fuck you and fuck your cunt ass fucking bitch. Shit. You know, it's like, damn. You're doing that? Like, why? Like, what? And then you're calling me out. I'm 1, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I think it was 4 minutes max. It's like, Derek. Why? And it was like, okay, cool. Cool, like, that's like, whatever, right? Dealing time from your work. And needless to say, whenever they go on this break, this 15-minute break, when you come back in, right? Like, I'm not stupid. You know, a lot of people really aren't. Like, you can smell. You can smell, like, cigarettes. They smell different from not cigarettes, smoke. But whenever they go in their 15-minute break, right, it's at least once a week, maybe twice a week, I would notice. And it's not like a small smell. Like, it's fucking strong as shit. And plus, you do that and you smoke on top of it, you're trying to cover it with smoke smell, makes it fucking worse. It's like, okay, I know my car's small. Person sitting next to me is an arm's length, right? Like, if I did neck chop, a neck chop right in the neck, right? That person's farther than my arm length away. So there's like another, like, my arm went out, another person, so I couldn't reach him like that far away, right? I don't know how far that is, right? It's like, what, 20 feet. No, it's not. But isn't this is out of arm's reach, right? And you could smell that off him. And it's like, oh geez, like that's a lot. Like, you know, I don't think you should be doing that on work. You shouldn't be smoking that when you're on work, when you're on the clock. But it's whatever, you know. People know, but they don't want to do anything about it. And so yeah, okay, cool, right? That's not right for them to do, but they do it anyways. At least I don't mind if you do that stuff. Just don't do it when you're on the clock, because you're on the clock. That's your 15-minute break. You didn't clock out. Even if you did clock out, I still don't think you should be doing it and then going to work. That's just me. Oh, that's one incident. I was like, dude, that kind of sucks. Even it's bad because even the other associates starting to notice. Like, there's nights where they're like, after she leaves, they're like, you know, what the heck? Like, why is she doing that? Why is she taking it? And you know that she smells, right? Not in like a BO kind of way. Like that's not right. Like, you shouldn't be in there like, I don't know, that'd be kind of cool if I could do that too. I was like, don't tell me. I'm not here to tell you no, but you know, like, I don't know what you want me to do. Okay, cool. And it's like, okay, that sucks. So it's like, whatever. And then the next, and then it's like later, it's like doing all that stuff, and she's already mad at me. I don't know why she's being mad at me that all this stuff, and I think it's unfair that I had to be in the front. I used to two Arctics, right? The Arctics, they're not, but they're just not like, oh, they're not like the ones you would go for first. And this is, you know, whatever. Everybody has their own. That's not my cup of tea. I went and bought candy the other day, right? Walked in there, hey, get your manager so I can do this, get my discount, right? She was like, okay. And she buzzes them. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, whatever, you know, like, it's, at least be civil, so be nice to me. I'm like, whatever, just give me the numbers. She walks up there and just immediately, it's like super pissed off, and was like, does her thing, and just like super standoffish, like cold, like you could tell, like if like she was gonna be mad at me and like hit me or something, like it was gonna turn, like you could tell by people's mannerism and energy. It was like that, like she just, it was yucky. It was like, oh my god, I'm like, damn, son. And it was bad enough where the cashier was like, whoa, mentioned something to me, and she was like, oh, sorry. I'm like, well, you know, they're rude. It happens. I'm having a bad day. I'm like, maybe there's a rude person. But it's like, jeez, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. If you don't like a person, you still kind of be semi-nice to them because you're still representing work. Like, that's job. If you're like that, that's fucked up. You know, like, that's if somebody comes up to you and is really rude to you, so have to be nice to them because you're customer service. Like, that's just the way it is. You know, it'd be different if somebody spat in your face. Like, I would not be nice about that. But I'm just saying, like, you know, but that's just their attitude all the time. It's like, dude, you gotta chill, breathe, relax. You know, just some people don't, if you're quote unquote on the same level, if somebody gives you information, they don't like it because of, like, that's what they normally do. Like, you know, like, okay, you merchandise, you do that stuff, but things change. So, like, you wasn't there for 3 days, and so Light Blue got to do the task because they're like, oh, price this shit. So I'm sitting there pricing it, right? It's like, boop. She's sitting there doing the thing. That you're crazy and you want to be mean to me for whatever reason because I'm just informing you how to do something. You know. Making sure, because I know if you're not doing it, guess who has to pick up? Somebody has to pick up your fucking slack, which has happened before. And so I was like, whatever. I'll do it. And so she gets all mad at me, and I'm like, okay. So I want to take my 30-minute break. So for a 30-minute break, somebody has to cover the front. Nobody's scheduled up there, so they have me ask them. So I would ask them, like, hey, who wants to cover my break? I want to take a 30. And she got super pissed off about it. Enough where they gave me my 30, but gave me attitude about it. I'm like, fuck, man, what did I do? Okay, and then the next day, I get called into the back office and was like, why? Because I asked for a 30-minute break. Like, I guess she took it as me asking for a 30-minute break was me being petty and making her not do her job so she's behind. That's how she looked at it. I'm like, no, I was fucking hungry. Okay, I wanted nom nom. You know what I'm saying? Like, Arctic, stop being crazy. I don't care about you that much to make your day harder. Not really. I just was hungry. Okay, am I not allowed to be hungry? Is that what you're saying to me? You're saying I'm not a human being, I can't be hungry, and I can't eat food? I can't munch anything when they could take their 15? They don't even take 15s. They take, quote unquote, they say a 5-minute smoke break. That 5 minutes turns into 10 minutes every hour. Every hour. That I'm not allowed to take a 30-minute break. That's against the rules. Against the law. Like, bitch, what law telling you that I can't take a break? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't mind if you leave early, just tell me. There's one day where I remember because I had my hours cut. I was like, God, because I was getting overtime. Yeah, I mean, that's her fault. You know, she ended up hurting herself one day. What happened? Like, I guess she hurt herself one day, and then the next day she was working a closing shift, 5 till like 9 or something, like 5 to 10. So like a 5 or 6 hour shift, right? And so she's doing her closing. Like she hurt herself. Like she says she's on the ladder, and some lady hit the ladder from under her. And she like fell or like somehow twisted her back or something crazy, right? And I guess because she's fat, it actually like hurt her more instead of cushioning herself. She like twisted her back muscle or something crazy. She didn't get hurt. I was like, okay, that sucks, man. I come in and she's laying in the back room. She's laying on like the cement floor. And I'm like, at this point, I don't really care. Like, she's a bitch anyways. But like, I don't care. Like, you do you know? Like, I know I need to work. I need to do my shit. So I'm like doing my stuff. And she's laying there. I'm like, dude, if you're that out, if that hurt, we're gonna have to call it. Just peace out. Take the hit. Like, there's no point for you to be working if you're not helping and doing things. You just look bad. This way, you hurt yourself, leave 3 hours early, right? Yeah, it's gonna suck, but you have a legitimate excuse. Leave 3 hours early. And then tell the store manager, hey, this, come in the next day so you have extra hours to rest. You have extra 3 hours to rest. Basically, if you threw your back, I'm gonna give like if you like twisted your muscle, whatever, you have more time to relax, to actually do what you need to do, relax, massage, I don't know, whatever fucking you snort cocaine, take heroin, do whatever you need to do to get it fixed. So if you can get a massage, get those Korean people to massage you pretty deep, whatever, right? Go do that. Get 3 hours off. I know you don't want to work anyways because I always leave early at this point. At this point, Arctic's been leaving like, she left, a couple times she's left an hour early. She told me like, she left an hour early because she had to go to the vet for her pet, right? And then she did that twice. She did that 2 times. No, she did that twice, right? She did it twice already. So it's like, oh, okay, she left an hour early, but when I bet this, and next week she did the same thing. And then it got to the point where they're like, people were like, mentioning it. Was like, man, why should we eat so early? Didn't she go to the vet last week? This. I'm like, I don't know, man. And then a week before that, she had to leave early because she had to go pick up her brother because some of her other family members can't drive or didn't want to pick her up or something, so made her do it. Whatever. So something along those lines happened, right? And so I'm like, okay, so she's leaving early consistently all the time. And it's funny because it only happens on the weekends. Who wants to work the weekends? I don't want to work every weekend. I want a weekend now with myself so I can pick my nose, stream, do whatever I want to do, watch Netflix, you know what I'm saying? But you just deal with it. You're like, damn, I have to deal with it, right? So I was like, oh no, I actually have to work. Didn't go to work. So I had to come in. I came in, found out that she's there, so I'm kind of pissed because it's my day off. She knew the whole day that she was in pain, so why come in? Like, you just, like, you're not a respectful person at this point. Like, you're not respecting me. Be like, hey, I'm all fucked up. Tell me in the morning. What if I had, you know? Well, why not? What made it so you could not? I don't understand. That, so I just came in and dealt with this. I ended up getting OT, but I was pushing over 40 hours for that week. So it's like, that sucks, right? And so what they were doing, they were cutting hours at the end of the week. They cut my hours at the end of the week, so I came in later. And then, like, I was complaining about it. I was like, fuck, so they're not giving me overtime, they're cutting my hours, right? And then, and I was just like, complaining to this other girl co-worker I worked with. And yeah, she's super cool. So, and then, like, Arctic came up and was like, what the fuck? You know, you got your hours cut too. I got mine cut. Like, today, I'm leaving at, I think she said 3 o'clock. Yeah, I think she said 3 o'clock. And I was like, what? Because you're supposed to be here at 4. I'm like, you're cutting your hours too. That sucks, man. I'm like, her hours didn't get cut. She was just saying that so she could leave. Now, because I remember I was like, what the fuck? I was like, and I was telling the girl, I was like, the other coworker, I was like, dude, the cashier got fucked up. They're cutting her hours too. She's leaving at 3, so she pieced out actually at 2:45. She pieced out a little early. And the store manager calls me. Is like, hey, this person forgot to clock out. Do you remember what time she left? I'm like, oh, she left at 3 o'clock. He's like, this is crazy. I'm like, she told me 3 o'clock. I have no room to lie about that. And I was like, you. So she was like, what was I talking about? You know what I mean? Oh, like, she would do something, she would get in there, and I'm like, you know, when she would do things, she would come up to me, she's like, oh, man, I didn't mean to take a 25-minute, I was on the phone with my little brother, you know, he locked himself out the house, so this, and this, that, I'm like, whatever, like, I don't care. Just don't call me out on mine, taking 3 extra minutes, because traffic. But you want to be petty enough where you cry and bitch about it. You're like, 3 extra minutes being in the front. These people are gonna look at my ugly face. Cry about it. Okay, like, cool. Like, why? Like, if you think you're that ugly, maybe wear a bag on your face. Doing that stuff, right? Get all mad at that. Get screamed at this. Like, what the heck is going on? She started being fucking petty. At that
that point, she gave me the cold, there's a reason why I call her Arctic, because she gave me a cold shoulder. Completely said nothing to me the next day. Like, I'm like, here, they gave me the phone, I'm taking my 30-minute break, you check. Complete silence. Thumbs up. Okay, whatever. You don't even want to say nothing to me? I don't want to hear your fucking nasty ass fucking voice anyways. I don't give a fuck. And so that goes on for a couple of days, and you can tell it's starting to bother her, and she's being super petty with me. So there's one night, so she's being this way. I was like, oh shit, right? And there's one other girl that was closing. I thought she was a super hard worker. She got along with me. She worked. She did what I asked. She worked super hard, front face, made it so I didn't have to work as hard, which I fucking like. So I worked too, but she just did it more tedious and very nice. So I'm like, cool beans, right? And it wasn't her last day of working. It was like a week before, guys. Actually, it was a couple days. So I worked there 2 nights, so the day before or something like that. And so we're working. Store looks good. It wasn't as busy because we already killed it. We're cleaning everything, and so I'm up there helping customers, and I'm talking to her while I'm like getting the go backs or whatever up front. So I'm standing up there for a minute talking to her about just, like how she could deal with it, because I know the night before that she worked, a couple days ago, she pulled she worked the morning shift. She pulled a double at Publix, so she worked overnights and then like the rest of the morning or whatever, that afternoon, and then came back to work with us, which she worked crazy. That was like you work way harder than I've worked. I mean, I've done 2 jobs where she worked a double at her other place. Already, that's crazy. And it's like, oh shit, right? And then he still came in to work here, so she was extra tired. She got like a full, I don't know, one of those energy drinks. I don't know. I don't think she drinks Red Bull. I don't remember, but she drank something like that. I'm like, dude, I mean, I would need like 6 of them to do that. If you pull the double and then 1 shift here, which this shift's not that hard, but still a 4-hour shift, 5 hours of up and down straightening. It's the same thing. Everybody does the same thing, but it's like, dude, it's like you mentally check out because of customers and stuff like that, right? So it's like, okay. So that's what happened. And it was like, okay. So I was talking to her, and the Arctic one was like super, like at that point she already gave me the cold shoulder and silent treatment and all that stuff, right? And I actually told her about it too. She's like, I thought this shit was fucking funny. Like, that means like you're a narcissist and you don't know that you are the problem. I'm not saying I'm the problem. Everybody does stupid shit, but it's like if you came up and communicated, I would have been fine with it. At least do your work. And I'm tired of picking your stack. I'm tired of you getting credit for shit that I've done, you know? And so she has the phone that day. For some reason they didn't give me the phone because she was there before me. And so you see that meme where the guy like mic drops stuff, whatever that thing is? I'm not a meme person, but he mic drops it when he does something cool. Just drops the, like the $1 billion mic, like a break or whatever, right? And so she does that to the phone. So how the store works, there's the entrance, and then there's like the register. It has a little like register area, the table, and she just walk over and like, dude, just stares at me, eyeballs me as I'm talking to her, drops the mic or the phone on the table, and it's as like she's pissed. And I'm like, whatever, that's crazy. And I think that was the same night where like a customer called her rude because she was closing the registers down, and I was like, whatever, I don't give a fuck, because I was helping other people. And I was pulling the stuff in, and the customer's like freaking out. I'm talking about like straight up across the store yelling at her like, you're rude, you're rude, screaming it. I'm like, what the hell? Screaming it. I was like, dude, I'm sorry, I hope you have a better night. I didn't know. Here you go, I'm trying to help you out, make you feel better. And she just like flipped out on her. And it was fucking funny. Because it's like, shit happens. Like, I get it. The computer's like, you can't be mean to them. I mean, like, hey, I usually, when that happens to me, I explain to them, like, in a calm voice, like, hey, this is what's going on. I could use this, this, and this. You get pieced out. It'll take a minute. I know it's going to take a minute. And so just being rude to them. And she, like, I guess, didn't bag her stuff or didn't ring it up. But when she rang stuff up, it was like an angry face. Like, fuck, man. Like, why did you be rude? And I was, and mad enough where that lady called her out, which was like crazy. And I'm talking about, like, she was pissed. And where she called her out, like, across the store, was yelling at her. Like, you're rude. Screaming. I was like, oh shit. And it's like, what is that about? So that happened. So I was talking to her, like, the girl, about it out front of the cashier, and we were laughing about it. And that's when she, like, mic dropped the phone. And we'll go, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, what? She was like, what the hell is that about? I'm like, yeah, she's giving me a silent treatment because she don't like me. Like, it's crazy that, so she's doing all this stuff, right? And it's like, okay, why? She's leaving early, doing her thing. It's like, damn, okay. She was leaving early even before the incident, like before she started being really rude to me about it. But she was always like, you know, I'd leave early, I'd do this, I'd do this. I'm like, fine, like, you do you. I'm not here to tell you what you can or cannot do. I preferably like you to stay because you work your whole shift. If not, somebody has to pick that shit up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you're not gonna work your full shift, somebody else is gonna have to pick it up. That's just the way it is. And that's just not cool. You know, that's just me. I'm thinking that's just not cool. I know if I left early, I would try to make sure at least most of my stuff's done. I'm not gonna leave anything undone. And if I did, I would at least inform me, hey, I couldn't get to this, but I did this, this, and this. This would help you out. You know what I mean? And because I know I don't like people leaving stuff for me, but she doesn't do that. This Arctic doesn't do that. It's just like, I'm just leaving. The fuck? Okay. They just leave. You know what I'm saying? And so I think at that point she started being more petty and being more aggressive toward, like, I was doing it on purpose to attack her when it really wasn't, or like, and like I was accusing me of things I didn't, like, I couldn't. They got to the point where I couldn't say her name. You know, if I needed help, they'd get mad at me for it. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And then that goes on for a while. And then there's one Sunday where she, like, there was one day where it wasn't even during a weekday when she's supposed to close. So now it's the holiday starts, right? So holiday, busiest time is always weekends. People work 9 to 5, 7 to 4, whatever, 8 to 5, whatever, your regular day job, Monday through Friday. Weekends, they're off. They want to go out and spend money. That's how it is. Any stores like that. So, so she goes on the weekend. Or the weekend, it's like, oh, okay. 3 days, 45 minutes early, 15 minutes early, 20 minutes early, every single time, the entire season. At first I'm like, whatever, just do you know, whatever, you're being pissy. And then like, and then that's when she started being crazy. I'm like, I don't mind, I just don't be crazy to me. So her craziness started happening like 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in. And this is like November, right? Where she's doing this. One Sunday where she, like, there was one day where she, I guess, would work at mid shifts. So for their mid shifts, there aren't really mid shifts, I guess. You work, let's say closings at midnight. She gets off, closings at 11, right? she would get off at 10. There's still 1 hour to open. There's 1 hour open, right? And that 1 hour is just me alone with another employee, cashier stuff, but not another member of management. So let's say that's 11. So that's like a 11. What's that, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's a 4 to 10? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 4 to 10 or 5 to 11 around their shift. And so she's doing this. And they got some freight for her to put out, which is fine. You would think in your 6-hour shift, you would do freight for 4 hours. I'd be nice, give you 4 hours, 2 hours help me clean the store. Right? Normal, I would suspect. You know? I would even give you 1 hour to help me clean the store if you blitz through it real quick. But 2 hours because it's holidays. She takes her whole 6-hour shift to work this, I call it a mini baker's rack, right? It's mini because I'm used to like a big one that's like, it's huge. It's like 7 feet tall and maybe like 7 feet long as well. Like 6, I think I'm gonna say 6. Sounds more about right. And then it's like 2 feet deep. So it's pretty big. That's like a big baker's rack. Like you can put a lot of shit on that. That I will give you like an hour and a half to do if you have, depending on what you have on it, right? So this mini baker's rack, it's like 6 feet tall, but you don't put stuff on the very top. There's one shelf on top, like the top, and then like one in the middle, one in the very bottom. There's one in between sometimes, depending how much stuff you have, how many shelves you put on there. So it's usually one in the bottom, one on top, and 2 in the middle. There's 4 total. You can put stuff on. And so put the stuff on there, right? I mean, I would say, let's say you fill it up to the very, like you Tetris it all in there and you fill it up. I'll give you an hour to put that shit out. Hour sounds reasonable, right? She took 3 of those and did it in technically 6 hours because she was there most of the day, but she actually left 30 minutes early because she didn't finish it, so it's 5.5. And that's how you, like, nah, like, why is it taking you so long? And you should know, if you're working nighttime and you close, some of your duties, I know some of the duties because I do it, that, okay, if you put freight out during the day, if it's not too busy, at the end of the night, you're supposed to help me clean the store. Well, you're supposed to help me adjust, you know, not adjust, but, you know, recover the store. It's closing duties, like that's what you do. And any other closing stuff, you did that an hour before. If you left an hour before it closed, you're supposed to help me clean the store. Sweep, fold the t-shirts, fold the t-shirts, do the thing, you know, pick up stuff that, like, we're adult babysitters, is what you're doing, right? Didn't even do that. I was like, what the hell? I'm like, okay. So me and this other girl, we had to do it. She's the one that pointed out that it took her that long to do that. What the fuck? You know, like, why did it take you all day to do that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not gonna, you know, I was like, just trying to be cool. Like, let her do her thing. We don't want to stir the pot. But she's pissed off at me about something. So it's like, okay, cool. Let you do you. And then it's like, alright. And I don't know, something, like, I was kind of mad. I was like, dude, what the heck was that? I'm like, okay. And I texted the store manager. I was like, dude, I'm like, hey, did you tell so-and-so to do freight all day? Like, I needed someone to help me close. Because I know they were mad about the store not looking 100%. I'm like, hey, I needed more help to close. Maybe, you know, mention it to her. She don't want to listen to me. And I was like, did you tell her to do freight all day? I'm like, that's cool if you did, but if you do, can you tell me that she's doing all day so I can plan my day out and start recovering 3 hours earlier than I need to and not actually put any freight out or do whatever I need to do? You know, direct more, be more efficient, or whatever. I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to find a way around it. And apparently, I guess, like, he confronted her about it or something, or talked to, like, the other Arctic about it, like, hey, she's your underling, because she's supposed to, you're training her to be her job, trying to move up, that's why it's, you know, move up. And what the fuck's that about? Go tell her how you can't be doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is this about? And I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, that's weird. And so, like, it's supposedly that's going on. And so she got super petty, and gets all fucking mad at me about it. Like, I've like brought up, she's like, well, you know how they are in the morning, blah blah blah, and they tell me to do these things, and you know, they get mad at me if I can't finish. I'm like, not really. Like, realistically, like, they're not gonna get mad at you for not finishing it because you have to help me fucking clean the store. Like, I don't understand. Like, where did your duty? Like, you're supposed to help me. Like, you're supposed to help me clean the store. Huh. Like, after a certain amount of time, you need to be like, yo, dog, hey, I need to help clean the store. It looks like a hot mess. I was like, yeah, okay. Help me. You're supposed to help me clean the store. I know I would. I've done it before. And so I'm like, that shit's crazy that you didn't do that. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, cool. I just kind of played it off like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I know, but you know, didn't really say anything that bad about it. Like, you do you. Like, okay, cool beans. Like, yeah, at that point, I knew I was over it. Weeks later, like a week later, had to have been a week later. She's still doing the same thing, like not helping me clean. I guess I worked with her again the next week because I didn't work with her, whatever. And then that's when she knew I was working. So what she did, instead of putting freight out, she went and folded t-shirts. And so she goes to fold t-shirts, right? And there's not really, I don't know if we have that many, I don't know how many t-shirts we got. It's not as much as you would, I mean, it's a decent amount, but you're talking to the wrong person about fucking t-shirts. I used to merchandise a whole men's department, and I did young men sometimes too, right? And that's straight up clothing store, so I'm used to t-shirts, folded, hanging, whatever you want. I don't even give a fuck. Like, I'm used to it. And so now you have this wall of t-shirts. Really isn't that big of a wall. It was like I was talking about how, like, that t-shirt wall, it shouldn't take you that long to fold all those t-shirts. Even like the new people that do it, they'll take 2 hours doing it. And this person took 6 hours to do simple folds on a t-shirt. And she didn't even finish it all the way. She just rage quit in the middle of it. And I just like, fuck it. I did the best I could. And then gave up on it. Yeah, I get it. It was busy. You gotta work, dude. I mean, I don't care who you are, but you still gotta work. As long as you're trying, and you're not even trying, like, I know you can work better. Now you can work harder. And you're supposed to be a member of management. It's like, dude, and then you get all mad at me, and then you do this petty shit. So the reason I call her Arctic is because after I addressed her with that stuff, she got mad, right? I'm like, okay, obviously you get mad because I'm questioning you. You do that. I get it. And I'm not perfect either, but it's like, it's usually if somebody comes up with me with a problem, I'm like, okay. I take a step back and look at it, like, well, I'm doing this. I didn't realize I was doing it that way. You know? And these people, they just were not communicating with me at all. Like, they would just leave on their shift. There was one fucking day where both of them, Arctic 1 and Arctic 2, knew they scheduled a break for me. The assistant store manager scheduled a break for me. And I was supposed to go, I don't know, like at 4:30 or some bullshit. And they didn't tell anybody. They told them, they were like, hey,
I need to go leave early for some whatever reason, right? And they're like, okay, well, tell Ice Blue or blah, tell Light Blue, because he's closing and he needs a break. So cover his break and then you could go. They didn't. They just walked up there, clocked down. I found out as they were walking out because I was up there covering. I'm like, whoa, who's covering my break? Right after, let's say it was 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Nobody. What the fuck? You could at least told me. I would have like spent 10 minutes and walked to the gas station to get something food or just something like that. But you were just that fucking. You didn't respect me, and then you expect me to give you respect? Like, how am I supposed to respect you if you do that to me on a fucking daily basis? Daily. Like, no, like, respect doesn't go that way. Like, you have to, you earn it. Like, you have to give it. You give respect to somebody, they'll give it back to you. You know, and I've been giving them. Every time I do something, I'm like, hey, I'm stepping out, blah, 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 this, and this. It's called fucking communication. And they don't like that. They're just petty. And they're adults. They're saying they're adults. They ran away from home at the age of 16 and shit like that. You know, one's I get it. Bad shit happens in your life. That's cool, but you should grow from it. You should learn from it. You're an adult. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't, then that sucks for you. Like, you're an immature a-hole. And it's like, I don't understand. Like, you tell me your life story, all this, and this, how bad it is, how you've been raped and all this, and then, you know, you've been beaten by your family, if we're addicted to whatever, and all this, like, it's the cool thing. Okay, cool, but yet you treat people like they're a piece of shit. You treat people like they're under you and you're better than them. You do this. You get mad because they call your name because they need help doing something. What? Like, no. Like, you're not better than me. We all bleed the fucking same color blood, you know? And you do this stuff. And then you're one of those people that are like, there's not nice people. And it's sad that there's not nice people like that out in the world that would use and abuse nice people. You know? And it just irritated me that they get away with that stuff. They get away on a daily basis smoking the stuff that smells nasty. And you go and give me the silent treatment like it's my fault. Which I think is fucking hilarious. Like, people think I'm like mad. It's the funniest thing. It means I don't have to listen to your fucking dumbass voice, and I don't have to communicate with you. Actually, I communicate with you, and you're just sitting there like, you thumbs up like it's okay. Like, you fucking lost your vocal cords all of a sudden because you're a fucking dumb bitch cunt. Okay, that's fine with me. And then you notice then it's funny, because you notice it doesn't affect me because I'm still doing my same shit like I normally do. And then you get mad. You start doing this passive aggressive stuff, like like when you have the telephone, you drop it like on the counter. Okay. Or like the instance where I was talking to one of the cashiers, right? So there's this push cart we use to put merchandise out, right? It's a big metal cart. So when you drop stuff on it, it clings. It's loud. Like, you know it's loud. And because it's like, imagine like if you had like, if you were kids and you had like the big metal pan, like metal like baking sheet, like a big one, and you were hitting it with the hammer and like it bangs. It bangs super loud. Pretty much that's what this is. Right. So you know how loud that is. She puts her stuff on there. Like, I'm in the back. Store's clean. And I'm talking to one of the cashier girls. I know it's like her second to last day or her last day or something. And this is, I think it was the same night where
I was telling you, I think before, where the customer flipped out on her, maybe it was the day after, so it was her last day. But it was the same girl I was talking to where like the customer flipped out on Arctic about how like rude she was, right? And so this is the next day, it was that Sunday or something. And the store was clean. I'm like, it was clean. Like, I'm good. Like, it was so clean. Like, you get to sit there and relax for a good like hour or so. Like, you had to work that hard. Like, it was cool. You know, I get it. I like it like that. We were making sales. It wasn't too busy, but we were clean. And this happens, right? I'm back there talking to her because she was talking about how like she's got she's working 2 jobs, this one and another one, and how she has this other side business that she was doing, like this I guess she was doing t-shirt side business or something crazy or something cool. Like I was like, that's awesome, because she got a new machine that lets you do all that stuff. Like I wish I had that kind of imagination and all that stuff. Super cool. So I was talking about it, and so I don't know where she comes up with. So Arctic comes back from whatever she was doing. I don't know what she was doing, but she was doing something. So she came back there, and it had this metal like that thing we push stuff on, right? Like the submarine. I don't know. Like it's whatever. It's a big boat looking thing, and I hope she hears me and the girl talking. We're just laughing up with the chit chat. And she noticed I'm not angry or depressed or pissed off because I'm getting the silent treatment, because I don't give a fuck. And we're actually laughing about it. And you can tell she's getting irritated because she takes her keys and like bangs it on the blue on the metal tray thing, whatever, or the metal cart. And I'm talking about, she didn't just set it down, like she had like slammed it down, like bam, bam, slams it twice. It's like, oh shit, like she's pissed, and like it's funny. And we sit there like laughing about it, and the girl was like, what the fuck was that about? I'm like, oh, you know, that's passive aggressive. She's being passive aggressive because of this. And I told her why. She's like, really? She's that like them? I'm like, hell yeah. Shit's crazy. And so I was like, that's crazy. But I mean, what else can you do? If somebody wants to be passive aggressive, what they want to do. I mean, I can't even say her name because I'll get yelled at for it. Like, okay. And so that goes on, right? So she's just being angry. And but that's what I'm saying. Like, she's doing all this passive aggressive stuff, but yet I'm the bad guy. I get yelled at like I'm being the negative one, like I'm being the bad one, because she has corrupted the minds of others to make it look like I'm the bad guy, which I'm not. Like I'm all for doing whatever you're supposed to be doing. At least do your job, you know. And it's whatever, right? But it's just like, it's just weird. It's just like, what the heck's going around? So this goes on for a while, silent treatment, all this stuff, and eventually, like, I'm at a different location, and it's been a month since I've been in that store. Like, I think I've been there once during the daytime, because I was looking for a toy for my roommate and his my roommate. He was getting it for his gift for a friend or something. So I'm like, okay, right. So I got it. Store manager was there. He was super chill, super cool. Assistant was there, super cool. And then another time I went, a second time, 2 times I went. My bad, I went during the night. My little brother wanted some candy. Nothing wrong with candy, okay? Candy's good for you. It's good for the soul. And so I was like, okay. Went and got some candy. So I got candy, and I have to get, like, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, like, it's been a month, so she should be calm. She should at least be civil and semi-nice, right? But that didn't even happen. It was, the store looked like a hot mess. Like, it's been busy. She wasn't keeping up with it very well. I had to, like, I talked to there was a new girl up there in front as a cashier. So I was like, hey, I work at a different location. You're gonna have to get your manager up here to give me my discount. Because cashiers can't give people discounts, so that doesn't work that way. And so I was like, okay. She buzzes it, and this ends up being Arctic. At least Arctic 2 was kind of semi-nice to me. She understands, like, hey, you at least kind of be civil, at least communicate to me that's like I'm a human being, right? And but this was Arctic 1, and this walks up there, completely angry face, rude. Right. And or 9 hours. I think it was 9 or 10 hours. Like a regular work day. Because I used to work 7 to 4 or 7 to 5. With an hour break in between, but whatever. This one I didn't have any break because shit happened, right? And what was going on was she was supposed to come in for the night shift. I was supposed to get the rest of the afternoon off. I mean, I mentioned it before, where she locked her keys in her car. Okay, that's cool. And I said you could Uber, you could Lyft, you could do whatever to get here. Dude, after the text that she sent me, she was like, hey, AAA is supposed to be here. It's taken too long. Didn't say anything after that. Ghosted me. And then she lied and said something to the store manager, like she was gonna be there. Or something stupid, like, oh, she was on, like, help's on their way, it's fine, it's okay, you're gonna be there. I'm like, what the fuck? And then you didn't even show up. It's like, and you still have a job? You know, maybe sometimes it's people like that just need to not have a job. If you can't show up to work, and it's sad because people are like, oh, like all the adults, right, are like, oh, that's that kind of generation. This is no, because she's 25, 26, so technically she's still in my generation, I think. I fucking work hard. I know people my age that work super hard. I know people younger than me work super hard. It's just, we just stop catering these fucking laziness and just be like, you know what? These are the rules. You can't show up. Let go. I can find somebody else. Yeah, you gotta deal with the training, the other stuff, but I guarantee you I could find another person that worked harder than her. And I mean, if you were a shitty person, you're cold, but you don't know how to fix the problem. You just give, you just want to give the silent treatment, like that's gonna punish me. Fuck no. I think it's fucking hilarious because that tells me 2 things. Actually tells me 3 things. You're immature. 2, you don't respect me as a human being. 3, you're a fucking dumbass bitch. Like, how is that supposed to solve the problem if you're giving the silent treatment? So you're saying you're perfect and you know you've done everything correct? Nah, you're not. There's something you've messed up on. There's red flags every single time. Leaving early all the time, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a workplace. If a company's paying you to work, I think you should work. I mean, I understand back at them, like I can understand if you're not working at 100% every single day, because that's impossible. If whoever's working 100% all the time, and she does all this shit on purpose. I guess I don't know, it's just, you know, oh, and then like I can't say their name. Like I'm not allowed to say Arctic's name, not because of the video, like in IRL. Like I'm out and about. If I needed help, I can't say their name. I have to be like, hey you, it, dog. They won't even let me say ma'am, like yes ma'am, okay. They don't call me ma'am. Like what do you want me to fucking call you? Cow? Monkey? Doo-doo? A wanker? I can't say their name because there was one day where I needed help. And I told my roommate thought I was fucking batshit crazy because that's not normal. I'm like, I get it, it's not normal. They're being crazy. They're being very negative toward me. So every little thing I get yelled at. Like I could breathe, getting yelled at. I need to breathe. Okay, I need to take. I get yelled at. It's like okay, like fine, whatever. Breathing, I can't breathe your air. Let me walk into this corner and breathe in this bag and breathe my own air. You know what I'm saying? Like fuck. And that's not a lie. That's 100% true. This is 100% true. I got. It wasn't written. I didn't get written up, but the upper management had to talk to me about using their name. Yeah, that you heard. I used their name. Everybody had to ask me why did I use their name. Somebody came in, asked me a question that I couldn't answer, and I supposedly I could. They said I could, but I don't know because I was a member of management. But I'm like, they were asking me a specific question, and they worked with this person before, so I was like, my boss is here, so I'm gonna go get my boss because they could answer that question because I don't know how to answer it, so I will get them. I didn't want to overstep boundaries, right? Because they've set boundaries for me. Okay, so I'm not playing no game where I may answer, then you get mad at me because I'm overstepping boundaries. She's the boss, she wants to be the boss. Do your thing, you could answer it. Now, it's a double-edged sword because it's like, I could answer, I'll get yelled at. I ask her, why can't you do it and get yelled at? So it's lose-lose, regardless of what happens. And so I chose to get her, just so, you know, and like, I didn't even say it that loud. The loud, it's actually I'm saying it louder now because I'm driving with my top down and the wind blowing. So that's like, I'm kind of yelling now. I don't know if I'm yelling, but it's loud enough. I didn't make sure you can hear me because I don't know if you can. Because of the wind and stuff. So I was like, Arctic 1 or Arctic 2. I think it was Arctic 2. So Arctic 2. And it was legitimate. It was like, if you were realistically, you'd have to see an example, but it was like, she said Arctic 2 said I was yelling her name across the store. Like, I was disrespecting her that way. Like, I couldn't find her. Make her feel, like, inferior. Like, she's a dumb fucking cunt, bitch, ass, shit. Like, she was below me. That she was snorting shit. Because that's how low she is. That she couldn't afford anything else. That she had to snort shit. Okay? Yeah, it wasn't like that. It was legit. Imagine if somebody was 2 arm lengths away from you. Maybe 3. We're saying 3. That's like what? 10 feet? Right? And you were saying, oh, hey, Joe, or hey, Arctic, whatever. It was like that. It wasn't even like a yell. It wasn't like, I wasn't yelling. And this is before we had masks on, so you can't use that as an excuse. So, yeah, they were like, I want to say at least 3 arm lengths away. So that's like, what, like 10 feet, just about, right? And that's not bad. That's not that far. That's like 2 car lengths away. Why not? That's not that far. And you're saying that I yelled across the store and made her feel bad, like she wasn't working. That tells me 2 things. She wasn't working, and she felt like she got caught, so she had to blame somebody. 2, She was just fucking petty and a dumb fucking cunt. And so she had to cry. Legitimately, she felt bad and cried and went to upper management and was like, hey, light blue made me feel this way because you said my name. He was sitting in a negative tone. This. My feelings were hurt. My feelings were hurt. Okay. And then I got confronted, and they're like, you talked to me about it. Those guys addressed me kind of in an aggressive way. So I was like, what the fuck? I knew something bad was happening. Like, the whole walk, mannerism, everything was like, you're, you know, like, talk to me. Like, you, me, in the back. What the fuck's going on? Kind of attitude. I was like, oh, shit. And then she asked me, and I was like, I have no idea. I legitimately said her name. Like, what do you want me to call her? You want me to call her it? Monkey? Cow? Fugly? Let me put a paper bag on you? Nasty? I don't know. Like, short? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what do you want me to say? And I told him, like, I just said her name. Like, she had to ask these questions. And that's what she told me was like, nah. You know, you could have answered these questions. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I didn't know because of certain incidents before, you know, my boss is here. I'm gonna send it to my boss because I don't know how to answer these questions or ask him something about like operations. I've always worked nighttime. I never really worked operations, so I'm not gonna give you an answer if I don't know it. So I have to find the answer if I'm gonna give you an answer. That way I feel more comfortable. I give you 100% or at least 100% of my knowledge that I can be confident, be like, yes, I did say that, I did this, instead of just like, I just BS'd it. I'm not gonna BS it if somebody's fucking writing it down or somebody important is asking me. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna be like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So it was one of those things, right? So I was like, nah. So I had to go find additional information. And that's how I told him, like I don't understand. I didn't say it that loud. I had to go ask her additional information because I didn't know I could answer it because my boss was here. Because I've done stuff before, like, well, that's not your job. That's above your pay grade. Oh, my bad. I thought I was trying to help because you were busy. No, that's my job. Don't do my job. Okay. I didn't know because you were busy, so I thought I could help out. Sorry. Okay. That's happened multiple times. Like, oh shit. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. Like, nah. And so that's what I told her. I'm like, okay, like fine. Like, why are you making it so difficult? Just because I said somebody's name? Maybe this is better. I don't feel like yelling too much. Like, why are you making it so difficult? Because I said somebody's name. Like, I told them, like, I said their name. And I wasn't even yelling. I was like, hey, Arctic. You know? And legit, if you were like 10 feet away from me, that's how loud I said it. So I wasn't screaming it. I wasn't yelling it super loud. And I was like, you're being that petty? You're trying to get me in trouble because I said somebody's fucking name, you person? Like, how does that work? Like, what am I supposed to call you? You know? And I was in my room. My roommate was like, that's bad shit. Crazy. And like, give me the silent treatment. You're gonna be that petty. And they all gain up. And it's funny, like, so, like, I know she does this stuff to rub it in, like, she's better and all that stuff. She gives me the silent treatment. During that week, whatever, she gave me the silent treatment, right? On her days off, Arctic One will come in on her day off. You would come in your day off, so you take a 15 or 25 minute smoke break with Arctic 2. but yet you can't come into work and stay your full shift. You can't come in, you can't actually come in to your shift at all. Like, whatever, like, yeah, that's the only time I was like, I'm like, what the fuck is that you could come in on your day off when you can't come in when you're supposed to work. And this is after leaving early all the time, and after leaving early all the time, and then not showing up on that Sunday and leaving 3 hours early because you quote unquote hurt your back because you didn't feel like working. That's kind of, your position is not that special. You would think your position is special? Yo, if you could read a fucking piece of paper, it's not that special. It's just like, and she's telling me all this stuff like, oh, you know, blah blah blah. I'm important. If you didn't tell people that you're important, you're not important. You know, and it's just like everything else. You tell people that this, and this, then you're not important. You don't need to tell anybody anything. It should be just done. Like, you don't need to tell anybody, oh, I'm important because I can do this, and this, and that. Like that. And you merchandise, your merchandising sucks ass. You put fucking, you know, bread in the bathroom. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make sense. I was like, okay, and that's normal for you? That's okay? No. That's not okay. It's not okay because you're not using your brain power. You know what I'm saying? If you use your brain just a little bit, like, I get it, like, work sucks. Nobody likes to work. You know, especially when it's not fun. If I have to deal with the anger and the rudeness and the hatefulness coming from oozing out of all your pores. But you still gotta do it. You still know 1 + 1 is 2. You know, you do A, B has to come after. It's always A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, you can't be to like A, Z. Like, what the fuck happened to the rest of the letters? Like, nah, you got steps to do. And this is it. It's one of those things. It's like, dude, like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, why? Why are you that way? Does not make sense. And, you know, and you're blaming other people like it's their fault. Like, you're supposed to. I'm only gonna be to work up to a certain point to do your shit. Eventually, I'm gonna get mad and not help you anymore. And that's why I'm where I'm at now and doing this, because nobody wants to hear my side of the story. And that's what's sad about it, is nobody wants to hear my side of it. They just believe her because she was the first one to say it to them. Even though there's evidence and all this stuff, they just don't want to hear from me because I'm done being bullied and walked on by this fucking piece of shit. Like, and you think it's mean for me to say that, but that's sweet. Especially, you know, that upper management has given me a lunch schedule because I want my 30-minute lunch. So they give it to me. And you leave before that on purpose, you're a fucking asshole at that point. And you know, because they read that piece of paper. It's up, like, oh, I didn't know. It's up there in the front for everybody to see. When you go in, you clock in, you see it, it's right there. And they look at it all the time because they want to know who they work with. And then for you to be like, no, I didn't see that. Like, don't fucking lie to me. Like, you think I'm stupid? Apparently you think I'm fucking dumb. But, you know, I'm not that stupid. I may be dumb to let this happen to me. You know, because there are some things I've let happen to me because I just let it go. Try to tell them nobody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Nobody's doing what they're supposed to. Yeah. But eventually it's going to run out and I'm going to stand up for myself. It's like, you're just a shitty person. Like, that's not cool. Like, that's not shouldn't be that way. You know, like, why are you that yucky of a person? Shouldn't be. And then you wonder why your life's shitty. Everybody has their version of a story. There's always two sides to their coin. And